My death on the cross never happened. What have you done? I came to sow peace, joy, and love. But what have you made of it? Instead of peace there are wars, instead of joy there is sorrow, and instead of love there is hatred. Generation after generation has been deceived and kept away from my true message. Suffering was elevated to a great necessity, so that people believed that holiness could only be attained through suffering. My death on the cross was presented to you as exemplary, and in this suffering your spirituality should find a reflection. You have been deceived, beloved humanity. Thoroughly and knowingly deceived. My death on the cross never took place. This information is so important so that you stop identifying with this kind of suffering. Suffering does not lead to the salvation that so many of you aspire to. Beloved human child, I did not die on the cross, nor was I crucified. The Gospel of Peter, withheld from you, testifies to this. It is a great error of your history, and those people who are responsible for it have a great burden upon themselves. Through this misrepresentation of my life and death, an infinite amount of suffering came to earth. Suffering should ennoble you and be noble. But it is destructive and so painful, yet the whole earth has been covered with it. Wars were waged in the name of suffering, and in the name of the cross, all joy was taken from you. The possibility of peace was denied you, and hatred was and still is a reality on earth. How many wars, how much destruction of life on earth, and how much personal suffering were in your everyday life? And this only because you have believed in this wrong picture of my message for centuries. You have also been robbed of the joy of the beauty of sexuality and the freedom to live it from the heart. You have been told that this is something indecent, something animal. You were and still are being asked to kill the sexuality within you. And again you are told to do violence to yourselves, and again suffering arises where joy should be. The church is a man-made institution. It was not my will to found such a community keeping man in suffering, joylessness and fear. The historical events are well known, and the emergence of the Roman Catholic Church bears the stamp of men, and not my seal. The so-called bold delivery to Peter has never taken place. Also the representation, I was not married, is wrong. Many of my companions in the Jerusalem of that time were women. Besides my mother Mary, my wife Mary Magdalene, and women who were close to my disciples. It was a mixed community. For a man at that time and in that religious, cultural reality, it was completely common and almost required to marry. We were meant for each other, and in this life on earth our love blossomed fully. Miriam of Bethany was not a harlot or a sinner as she likes to be portrayed. She was and is a high initiate of life, and at that time we were intimately connected. The wedding in Canaan was our wedding. I was her groom, she was my bride. How important this information is, and how much it has been missing from the earth and especially from the people of strong Catholic character. The most natural form of cohabitation on earth, that between man and woman, has been made mad to you, and you have been kept away from the joy of union. Without that joy you could not blossom, and so you were deceived. I am telling you this so that you know, and now it is time for all the lies to come to light. So also the untruths, misrepresentations, and deliberate lies about my life on earth 2,000 years ago. There is so much that needs clarification and a new look, and this announcement will dissolve old images of me and bring a new awareness. Finally, the freedom so longed for by many people, the peace, the joy, and the love. And it was always love that accompanied me. My heart had so much of it, and everywhere it radiated. All by itself. Many miracles occurred simply by people seeing me. The light that emanated from me healed everything and everyone, as personal development allowed. I was on the road a lot, and we moved from place to place. For my companions, the apostles, the days were always exciting and full of surprises. I myself was open, and like a channel, the light of my Father flowed through me. To bring light and love, and to anchor these qualities of energy on earth, that was my task. However, time and events in Jerusalem came to a head, and so the day came when I left Jerusalem. The Last Supper points to this. It was a farewell feast, and everyone was gathered. We ate dates and figs and shared bread. It was my farewell to my friends and companions. Also from my wife and from my mother. There were not only 12 at this feast, but many more, and all came to bid me farewell. History would have you believe that my crucifixion took place afterwards. All these representations are untrue and false. John the Baptist. Even before I began to work publicly, something happened that touched me deeply and most painfully. The beheading of my so beloved John the Baptist. I loved him so much, and it came all of a sudden. It was clear to me that my ministry in this area would be temporary. And it is true, it took me a good 3 years before I took my leave and reached India, the border of Nepal, through many roads. My message was full of love and joy. Full of love of life and of deep divine inspiration. And many understood it, but many were not given this realization. Until today. Now mankind is given the opportunity to receive new information about the events of that time. So that you can accept what I already gave you at that time. Start with your own discovery and find into your joy and love. This message is unchanged, and through these facts you can more easily free yourself from the old, suffering energies. There is still so much that is being withheld from you, but that is over now. The whole truth is now given to you. The truth about the events as they actually happened, and not as it has been conveyed to you so far. In the further chapters you will learn many things about my words and deeds and how they are to be understood. God is with you. Channel, John J. Caslow.